Spoke to a lot of people who are interested in getting into media so they can understand truly how the media operates. And now I bring you some very unfortunate news. It's another day and unfortunately another terror attack. And we have a manhunt in Munich after a shooting kills at least 8. A shooting at a shopping mall in Munich has left at least 8 people dead and multiple people injured, the Munich police say. Police said that based on witness testimony, they were acting on the assumption that there were at least 3 attackers. They say they're describing it as an active shooting scene, and it's not clear what motivated the attack. And of course, when you don't know who your shooters are, you don't know what their motivation is. It's a very scary thing, especially when you think about, you just go to a shopping mall, you're trying to live a normal, everyday life, and then you have to deal with stuff there, or any place you go to school, any place else. But also, this follows the not so recent axe attack that we saw earlier this week. Some guy was on the train, he had his axe, he had a knife, he's fighting with people, he chopped people up. Eventually the cops caught him and shot him. But man, it's just getting to the point where this is not just here in the U.S., because they always want to talk about here in the U.S. And of course we have our issues here, but you also have things going on in France and in Istanbul or in Germany, as we see in the case here, and we'll bring you more information as it becomes available. And finally tonight, talking about Mrs. Clinton. Now, if you don't like Mrs. Clinton, you don't want to see Hillary for president, you may say you want to see Hillary for president, and that's exactly what you can participate in if you go to Florida National University tomorrow, and the hours are from 12 to 2. There's going to be flying around the Hillary for prison banners, and just let her know that she needs to be in prison. Also, I think there's still the bounty to call it out. If you can get Hillary to autograph your shirt, myself and Rabdu will both send you $100 each. So go out there, go forth and prosper. That's it for this segment. Stay tuned after this break for more special reports.
Hey, is that Charlie Rose? Hey, good, man. Alex Jones.
Hey, Alex Jones.
Can you spend 2 minutes with us?
Yes, 2 minutes.
Well, I tell you, man, you have, I love your roundtable discussions.
Thank you.
Those are so original.
Thank you very much. It's fun to do it.
Do you think Trump's going to win?
I have no idea.
What's your gut tell? You're a smart guy.
Well, my gut tells me that he could make it into a very competitive race.
How do you do 2-3 shows a day? I know you're one of the hardest working guys in radio and TV. I don't know how you do it.
Hey, I love it. I'm passionate about it. I take care of myself. I get several naps a day. Stay in shape. I love the work, and it overlaps.
Look, I would interview Peter Thiel if you. I don't think people that go to Bilderberg are bad overall. I think some of the secret agendas and shadow government are bad. Have you been to Bilderberg?
Yes.
And was it?
Not in a while, though. Not in a while.
I mean, is it overblown?
I think so.
Do you think it's just kind of something left over from kind of the Cold War?
I don't know.
Well, you talked about Bilderberg. It's no big deal.
No.
I mean, he's a big media guy. We love talking to him.
Yeah.
Look at this big crowd here, your fans. Well, listen, who are you supporting for president?
First of all, I don't go out talking about who I support to you or to anyone else. I'm registered as an independent.
Let me ask you this question. What do you think about U.S.-Russian relations?
Depends on who you talk to, doesn't it? You talk to John Kerry, he's trying to get them to do something together. You talk to other people, they're worried about what's going on in Syria, and they're worried about Putin. So
exactly. Why isn't it more congruent? Because usually in U.S. policy, you'd hear kind of a policy. It seems like there's a bunch of different policies.
Well, I mean, the administration is trying to have a relationship. Apparent to me, they're trying to have a relationship with Syria, with Russia, in order to do something about Syria. They need Russia because of their relationship with Assad, and Assad's gained some because of the Russian presence is stronger. Those 51 diplomats were complaining about U.S. not having enough leverage.
Well, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
I like your style.
Hey, well, I appreciate not being too scared to talk to us. Most people would be. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Now, he was not a coward. He talked to us, and I appreciate that, even though his staff freaked out like Count Dracula had just attacked.
Good job, Alex.
But, yeah, so we're nice. People are nice to us. All right, there you go. INFOWARS.com.
I'm Margaret Hell reporting for INFOWARS.com. I'm in downtown Cleveland taking a look at the mass protest underway. I want to talk to these guys over here, find out what they're doing here. Okay.
Just don't.
Do you guys want to talk to us?
Get out of here with your crap. Just go.
Why are you guys here?
I'm not here with them. I'm not here with anybody. Go.
Look at this. Hey, what are you guys doing here?
Get the out of here. He doesn't want it. I'm not talking.
We've got profanity. That's what we've got.
Just say that. Get out of here. I'm not
This is a
talking
public
to you.
space.
It's a public space.
That sounds like a no.
There are kids here and they're cussing, profanity.
Who are you funded by?
I'm not funded by anybody. I said get the out of here, mate.
Hey, bro, this is a public space. I'm not getting the out of
I'm
anywhere.
not talking to you then, mate.
I'm talking to you.
No, I don't want to talk to you.
I don't give a they want to talk about.
Here, please. No, seriously, they just said they didn't want to talk.
We just want to know who they are and who they're with.
There's just don't. Hey, look at you. Hey, look, all I'm trying to do is that, like, people, this place is...
We just want to know who they're with. That's all. Like what their platform is.
talk to you.
Because they have masks on. It's like.
No, we don't. I'm interested in the flag, frankly. You know, kid, I don't think they want to talk to us, but honestly, listening to their grievances, I'm trying to figure out who they are, what they're with. Very hostile, very profane group. And just got cussed out for just wanting to ask them a simple question, what they're doing here. I heard them tell the police officers that they don't feel safe, that these guys don't feel safe, the guys with the masks on.
That doesn't mean anybody. Most people don't know what that flag represents, bro. Okay, so it's what, 430 people? 30 people only know what this flag means? Probably not a group, I don't know. They can go on YouTube and hit millions of people, but they don't even do that.
Seriously.
In a park and talk amongst themselves, so like 30 people only knew what their flag means. This place called Public Square.
Listen,
Okay.
listen. Antifa is an organization that is on the streets every single day trying to go to war with fascists, KKK members, people that are on the street inciting violence against minorities, against Muslims, against blacks, against Jewish people. Everybody in this country that is marginalized, the KKK is out here. We saw what happened in Sacramento. We saw people go.
I appreciate you talking to us. We're just trying to figure out who they are.
They're afraid because they're targeted by the state, they're targeted by other racist groups, and
They're
that's
targeted by the state and racist groups. Like which ones?
like, I mean, racist groups like the KKK. Yes. Are you kidding? You guys don't see it because you're not on the street level. But there's like going on that you
I'm
don't.
on the street every day.
I'm sure.
It's getting pretty hostile here. There's a fight that's about to break out. I think we should move for our own safety.
Hey, just keep talking.
You know, we're trying to figure out what the heck they want, what they're doing here. They said that they were targeted by racist groups, which is why they have to cover their faces. I'm not really sure which racist group they're talking about. Hey, Joe, did you catch the people in the mask? What's going on? They wouldn't talk to us. They actually bumped us away.
Yeah, that's what they always do.
They want attention.
This one's gonna be the new meme though. She's the new Trigglypuff.
I think the rally was a huge success in defiance of those that wanted to censor our free speech and who tried to intimidate people from speaking. It's part of a systematic program we've seen of censorship, not just in cyberspace, but physically on the ground. Obama had our airplanes that were towing banners the last few days banned and had the biggest restriction on airspace in the history of a convention done for the full convention here and in Philadelphia in direct response to our legal and lawful company flying around with Hillary for president 2016. What do you think about the rally? I mean, was it a success? Roger?
Yeah, I think it was a massive success. Look, this was the suppression. They want to suppress our free speech because it endangers them. The truth is what they fear. And they know we're carrying the truth. So as Alex said, it's not just Facebook, it's not just Twitter, it's not just cyberspace, but in the villages and towns and communities, they want to suppress our ability to tell the truth. And I'm particularly grateful to the ACLU who represented us in court, and to the federal judge who had the courage in a corrupted system to strike down the gag order of the Democratic machine of Cleveland and to order the city to give us a permit so that we could have our rally. Now, the Westboro Baptist Church had no trouble getting a permit because they thought that would embarrass us. And Black Lives Matter had no problem getting a permit, and Move On had no problem getting a permit. It was only liberty-minded Americans who want to protest, or I should say celebrate, in this case, the nomination of the Trump-Pence ticket. So this was a terrific victory in the federal courts. It was a terrific public relations victory. As long as Jones and Stone are breathing, free speech and the truth will not be suppressed.
And that's another important question. I want to get to some of you guys' questions, but let me ask you this. Trump clearly is starting to come ahead of Hillary in many polls, battleground states. We've already talked about that. How will they strike back? What do you expect him to do at the end of this convention, when I know you told me you expect Trump to be even more ahead?
Yeah, I think Trump takes the lead in this race after the convention. I have enormous faith in Paul Manafort and Tony Fabrizio and Jason Miller. These guys are political pros. They have bonded with Trump. We now have a cohesive campaign in which everybody's pulling in the same direction. And I'm absolutely convinced in Mike Pence we have the best possible running mate of the choices available, and that he is going to be a perfect balance for Trump out in the Republican states and in the base states. So yes, what I think happens here is that the Trump-Pence ticket is going to pull ahead. That's in the face of an unfair mainstream media that spends all day trashing the Trump-Pence ticket. It's in the face of a country where there are more Democrats than Republicans. And you know what you're going to see from the Clintons? Panic. And that's when they try to bring down the police state. That's when they try to shut down your rallies and they start playing games with the voting process. The single most biggest danger out there, I believe, is voter theft, is voter fraud. We saw it to some degree in the primaries. The machines are going to be working overtime, voting people who are dead, a great tradition in Texas, as you know. They're going to be voting people that don't exist. They're going to be voting people who are not qualified to vote. They're going to be voting people multiple times. That, I think, is the danger, because the established order is petrified. Trump can't be bullied. He can't be bought. They see a wave of reform unlike anything they've ever seen, and they're scared shitless.
Alex, what role do you think that you and Roger have played in the rise and success of Donald Trump this election cycle?
I think we're all just together as populists and basically have just been out promoting what we've been promoting for a long time, and Trump's just doing that as well. So I just see us all working together in synergy. But I have seen Roger particularly, and myself and others, Matt Drudge of DrudgeReport.com, I guess a lot of the credit as well, to counter lies of the establishment media faster than Trump's people were doing earlier.
Leah McAdoo with INFOWARS.com. We're here in Cleveland covering the Republican National Convention. I am seated next to Captain Clay Higgins. Now, you just got done doing an interview with the Alex Jones Show, a really great interview, and now I wanted to get the chance to sit down, talk with you a little bit. Of course, you might recognize this guy from those viral Crime Stopper videos. You put your parish kind of on the map with that, able to really round up a lot of criminals with those viral videos. Tell us a little bit about that strategy.
Well, you know, I threw away the script. That's my nature. When I was asked to fulfill that duty position, I've been a street cop now for 12, 13 years. And in November of 2014, my sheriff asked me to be his public information officer. A small part of that job was performing the public service announcements called Crime Stoppers once a week. And, you know, my nature is to speak candidly and from my heart. So I did so. I would research the crime and then address the nature of the crime. What did it really mean about, you know, our country, that such a thing could even happen, and you know, the pain of the victim, the invasion of the victim's home. That these are not just numbers on a report. These are people. These are our fellow Americans who have been injured, hurt, damaged in some way. And I always address the suspect as a fellow American, fellow child of God, you know, failed and fallen, yes, but aren't we all in some way? And I believe in the redemptive nature of every human being. So although I expected to hold the suspect accountable for his actions, I also believed in him as a man and his ability to accept responsibility and move forward towards, you know, a redeemed life, you know, within his own soul and within his own heart. And somehow I was able to communicate that through the camera, and it did touch people's minds and hearts and souls. And during the course of the time that I was the public information officer for the sheriff, 19 felons, 18 men and 1 woman, presented themselves peacefully to the sheriff's office and turned themselves in. That's unprecedented. And then when we did the Gremlins video, which was my final Crime Stoppers video, that's the one that there was somewhat of an uproar, and because I found myself principally opposed to the commands I was given by my sheriff, I had to resign as a matter of principle. I became sort of a conscientious objector, you understand? I'll follow any order, but if it's But if it's contrary to my deep conscience, then of course I'm bound, you know, by a higher law to step down, which I did. Since then, of the 7 gremlins that we were looking for,